Hey, Peter. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks.
Thanks for joining me. Congrats on Dope Thief. I thought it was great.
Thank you.
I was curious, what was it about the source material, the 2009 novel, that sort of gauged your interest and made you think, I want to turn this into some sort of on-screen project?
So Dennis had such a great way in. First of all, he's so great with Philadelphia, and I love anything that's really about a place too. I've always been really attracted to that. And then he just had such a great way into the story with this initial con that these guys were doing. And both of them tired of it. They don't think they can do it for very much longer. I always really relate to those kinds of characters that have built a kind of strange moral apparatus about something they think isn't that bad. And they might as... And then it was just, and then he gave me a lot of room to adapt the rest of it because that novel's kind of like two novels in one. It resolves a lot in the first half. And I just told Dennis I wasn't going to resolve it. I was going to stay in the crisis for the whole book. So it doesn't resemble the second half of the book, but it's pretty true to the first half.
Very cool. Yeah, that's great. That's very interesting. And, wonderful cast led by, the great Brian Tyree Henry. I've spoken to him before and huge fan. I was curious for you, behind the scenes, was there, leading up to this, was there one role in particular of his that sort of made you say, all right, there's my Ray right there?
I mean, it was Atlanta, but partly because, Ray has to both do slightly questionable things, but also be kind of grouchy with it, crabby with everybody and barking at everybody, but you still have to love him. And to me, that really was Paperboy. I mean, I love that character so much. So it was that initially. I'd seen his film work, and we have some friends in common that we'd work with, so I talked to them about him. So I knew he had all of it. I just didn't know how good he was. I mean, he's kind of like everybody would talk about how, like, Kobe Bryant still had the best work ethic of anybody on the team, or like Michael Jordan. Like, they were really skilled, but they also were the last one leaving practice and the first one there. I mean, that's kind of, Brian is just like a workhorse, and he just gave everything he possibly could. So God bless him. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, and Atlanta is one of my favorites. So
yeah.
I get it. Well, that's great. And, you're keeping busy with projects on small screen and big screen, of course. I was a huge fan of a lot of, all of your work, including the first Batman. And I know there's that sequel coming up. I was curious if you're able, fans are really excited if there's anything you can share about the sequel or something you can tease for everyone who's patiently waiting.
I can't, and I'm not. I'm listed as working on that when I'm not. That's Matt's thing, because I was doing this, and so that might be an IMDb glitch or something, because it's exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, working with Matt on the first one, I mean, I'm a huge fan of his as well.
I am too. He had a really, really great, clean idea for how to do Batman again, and that was a good one.
That's great. And with Dope Thief, I mean, if there's one thing you hope viewers can take away from this, I mean, it's a gritty, very insightful. I mean, it's fiction, but it's very telling of sort of the times we live in with what the headlines you read. If there's one thing you hope viewers can take away, is there anything you can share on that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's that there's real people that we can have empathy for and sympathy for, that are in the middle of all of this mess that we've created in the world. Not just the drug traffic, but just the messiness of kind of all these societal norms breaking down. Ray and Manny and Mina are the kinds of characters that are usually slightly background characters. They're usually like bagmen or stick-up guys or money launderers or all these various things. But in here, you get to realize that they're just living, breathing people that are all basically good people trying to just game the system somehow. So that's what I think you can take away from it, is just that, everybody has a story in the middle of this mess.
Very cool. Well, great. I can't wait for everyone else to see it. So congratulations again, and nice to meet you.
Thanks. Nice to meet you. Appreciate it.